Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so the first messages we're going to pull will be for the Divine Feminines. What is it that the Divine Feminines can focus on at this time in the journey for the utmost of support, progress, purpose? What is it that we can see for the Divine Feminines? Thank you, Divine Creator, for showing us what Four of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So bit by bit, being kind, bringing in alignment with that which you want to manifest towards union, foundation, spiritual foundation, showing up authentically. Okay, what is it that the Divine would love the Divine Feminines to focus on at this time? Wow, Seven of Swords. I'm hearing red flags. So anything that's bothered you about the journey, the Lovers, higher self connection. A couple more want to come out. Okay, guardedness and the Three of Swords. Interesting. So Divine Feminines, we're getting some messages here about the red flags with sneaky behavior and really tuning into what you are willing to navigate, what you're willing to have around. You know, if it's confusing, if it feels secretive, if the communication is not at a place with your DM that you feel safe or seen or heard, or it's appropriate to have topics come up so that things are not triggering, that means it's not time in the energy for the union to come in fully in a one-on-one way. We have this guard up about third-party heartache. So there is unresolved histories, situations regarding third energies that have just sort of been left accumulating, left hanging. It doesn't have to be directly with the twin dynamic, but it is a long-standing karmic pattern. And I'm even feeling on the pattern with the Nine of Wands there, the wounded warrior. This is the war, the karmic war we've been waging for eons on the planet. That is the collective heartache I'm feeling here. And the secrecy, the behavior that is something we all experience in different ways in our lives on the planet these days. You know, there are instances of these imbalances playing out. And so really spend the time getting right with your higher self connection, having peace about what would be the desired frequency to come into. So, you know, just because we're shown that someone is our divine counterpart does not mean that it's going to be heartache free. Does not mean that we have to expect that that's the one person that will never hurt us. Only our connection to source, only our connection to higher self protects us and holds our own energy accountable in a way where we can truly ground into spiritual safety. People around us will always have their own free will. And so if there have been things that have hurt or been inconvenient or have been red flags, only we can set the distance or set the standard or remove ourselves from those things so that we are not hurt by them. As Divine Feminines, we tend to be very accommodating and want to push through those things and try and immediately find connection, even when those things are going on. We've told ourselves that's unconditional love and that we need to do something like that to prove that we are able. We do not need to put ourselves in harm's way that way. We can take space without fear that we are betraying or rejecting or abandoning in exchange. We can just get even more practical and grounded in that higher truth so that the pain is healed. Time does heal all wounds, and it also allows for cycles to end and new cycles of healing to come in. The essence of what I'm seeing here is Divine Feminine's healing the need to put up with any kind of behavior, even from your masculine, that rocks your inner balance in a negative way. And to actually love yourself enough to put space in the connection so as not to be in harm's way like that. That is unconditional love, and finding the peace needed within to actually let go if you're not being met with reciprocal energy that is honoring and love-filled. I truly believe that when these twin connections come in, that there won't be these sorts of things rolling out in union. Within full permanent union, these are the things that are needing to be healed and balanced before union comes in. And it's both. It is your own inner constitution and calibration, and also the learning that you're witnessing that has nothing to do with you, that your masculine is going through. So yes, take a good close look at how you've been putting yourself in harm's way and throwing yourself into these connections prematurely, getting hurt, and then saying, how could he do this? How could they do this to me? Take accountability and responsibility for jumping the gun and wanting a connection prematurely and settling for what you can get, and then being hurt if your masculine wasn't ready yet for what you know that you desire. The encouragement is yesterday's reading was next level awesome, because the masculine collective, Divine Masculine Collective, was basically shown to be a step ahead of where the feminines are at in the practical sense. How ready they are for these connections to be full on and grounded in the physical, and even more aware of what that would take than the feminines are at this point. So the feminine preparation is to be really certain in how much empowerment we have to allow or not the connections to come back in. There is a deep practical understanding of where the energies are at, and not to be jaded or overly cautious, but to be practical and grounded with how you assess what is available in the connection at any given time. It's very subtle, it's very complex, and don't let your emotions get out of balance, feminines. If your masculine is not showing up in strong energy, if your masculine is showing up in weak energy, don't allow that to reflect on you in a negative way. Believe in your worthiness and just simply see that as your masculine's journey at this time. Also, don't make assumptions. Oh my goodness, it gets too wordy and complex. Let's see what we can know about the masculines. What are they thinking, feeling, wishing, doing, challenged by? Thank you, Divine Creator, for showing us exactly the energies we need to see at this time. Okay, what are the Divine Masculines thinking about the connection? Two of Cups and King of Wands. Okay, I just heard the masculine saying, I have gotten every feminine that I have ever desired, but this connection still keeps me growing. Super interesting energy here. The Two of Cups in the reverse is showing me that the love is there, but it's not grounded. It's not being celebrated. This King of Wands energy, it's not a very happy looking king. It's a very contemplative looking king. Very stoic, remorseful even, I would say, that this love isn't here. Every deck has a different interpretation of each card, and here there is some somber review of where this hasn't worked out. It's a thorough feeling I'm getting. So Divine Feminines, your masculines are really looking at their own disappointment that the connection isn't more in a state of celebration at this time. What about on the heart space? 7 of Earth and 10 of Swords. Ooh, this is the Left for Dead, bleeding out, waiting, having to have patience. On the heart space, masculines are missing their Divine Feminines like crazy today, feeling like time is dragging on, feeling like they don't know when they will hear from you again. So this is a lot of feminines have pulled back, have felt pulled away for karmic cleanup, or because of not having reciprocated energy from their divine masculine. A little of both. It works hand in hand. And so the masculines are definitely looking here on the heart space and wondering if this is going to come back around ever. Many masculines are trying to convince themselves that not all is lost. It can't possibly be over after so many cycles of coming back around. They're defaulting to this idea that they just have to wait a bit longer, but there are these flickers in their mind that you might be gone for good, that you've abandoned them. They're not wanting to disintegrate into that, and they're holding out a little bit longer. I was just drawn to the 7 of Earth, so for some they're thinking if they don't hear from you in a week, that might be the indication that you're gone for good. This is also impressing upon some masculines, just a few of them, that they might have to reach out. This person is looking at this fairy, and I'm getting the sense of that communication, wondering whose turn it is. Laughing because the masculines are notorious for not reaching out. Do I need to explain that giggle? Okay, wishful thinking. Oh, no. What are the masculines actually wishing? 7 of Cups and 3 of Cups in the reverse. They're wishing to see through the options, through the confusion. This is a card of friendship. The 3 of Cups is in the reverse here, indicating that the masculines may not feel like there is a friendly connection between the two of you. For some reason, they're a little bit confused as to why the energy doesn't feel more harmonious right now, and wishing to correct any of that, wishing to get back on the same page. On the heart space here, really getting that they're feeling quite abandoned right now, but not really wanting to admit that, and instead just being in confused, well, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't feel like the good old days. Not sure why, not sure where to begin, not sure how to think about that. So there's this kind of need to know basis. This masculine kind of giving it up to the divine and saying, well, if I'm meant to know, I'll know. A bit of avoidance and deferral, not putting effort in here again. So it doesn't feel like an overly good day for the masculine collective. I've got to say, there's missing the love, but this can be productive. There's feeling like this huge wait period, this silent period, this contemplation of whether or not they've been abandoned by the feminine, and then confusion about where did the friendship go, what happened, where did this disconnect seem to come in. gosh, it feels so different from yesterday's peak, triumphant, sort of solid. It's almost like a backstep or a backlash from feeling so certain yesterday. It's a tempering feeling, like a mass amount of certainty and then nothing. It's almost like the masculines thought that they would reach out, or that the feminines would reach out to the masculines, like they could just feel it coming. And then if that didn't happen, it looks today that there's second guessing, overthinking, or the temptation to overthink and just kind of go back into that lack of ability to go forward. Okay, what actions are being taken? Subconsciously, the masculines are starting to really take accountability for their own autonomy, sovereign motion in the world. But they also are looking at the fears of you being single, divine feminine. So for many, they're looking at, if you're still in a karmic partnership, they're telling themselves you're not single yet, so there's no real reason for them to overly commit or push forward. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, feminines. It can be work. It can be anything you're giving your attention to that you're not freed up to fully focus on your divine masculine yet. The other flip here is that you are leading the way and freeing yourself from those things, and this is triggering a lot of the subconscious fears and hopes and considerations from the masculine, starting to see you might be the one that gets away here, and how they feel about that, what they want to do about that. It's a mirroring, a muse energy that's showing them where they are at in response. Okay, what is the biggest challenge at this time? Queen of Water and 10 of Cups. So this is the Queen of Cups. This is the psychic, intuitive, very love-filled queen, the loving mother energy that just accommodates and provides a safety net, a comfort around emotionally. In the reverse, though, the masculines are feeling the disconnect from that and knowing for their long-term fulfillment, your love is essential. This is the challenge. Right now, they are not feeling that Two of Cups connection. They're not feeling you as the Queen of Cups. They're offering that cup of love, and they know that they're not going to be truly happy in every way unless that changes. What is the spirit-guided solution for this challenge? 8 of Earth, doing the inner work. Are you kidding me? And the 8 of Earth, 8 of Pentacles, to clarify itself here. There's no way around it. The masculines need to do more work, more inner work. Divine guidance is, divine masculines, do the work. You must do the work so your throat chakra is freed for pure, sweet, simple, genuine, fearless communication with your divine feminine, because you're ready. You're understanding that your true happiness does lay with your feminine, and that anything that's unaligned needs to go. Do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work. That's the only advice here, masculines. Masculines, do the work. Wow, where is the energy going in the near future? King of Wands and the Hanged Man in the reverse. This is my shaman card, my divine masculine card. So in order to come into this empowered, beautifully spiritually led diplomat under heaven, this leader, influencer, voice of the divine, truly empowered, channeling individual who navigates with authority and love and purpose in the world. In order for that, there needs to be a little bit more of a confidence, a coming into it. The work has been cut out for you, divine masculines. So go to the divine, spend the time in focused intention to understand these things. Look at the crown chakra here, this divine masculine solar flair that both these dudes have going on here. Take the time to go into that meditation and ask, how can you become more empowered? How can you become a more genuine, authentically energized version of yourself? What would that look like? That is doing the work, coming into your own, coming into your most alive expression. So divine masculines are beginning to see what doing the work would entail and the next level of expression it would afford them. Yeah, look at that heart that this divine masculine then has available to share truly with you, divine feminine. If we don't have the love to give, we don't have the love to give until we find out what that means, what love really is. Okay, let's get a card of advice for the divine feminines watching. What is it we can see? Clear out the clutter. Yeah, I heard the channeling that came through. It stuck with me because I remembered it coming through exactly that way for the divine feminines in another reading. But anything unaligned must go. So just keep getting rid of any of those thoughts, items, paradigms, scenarios in your life, feminines, that are clutter, that are just there for just being their sake. Get rid of anything that does not become you, that is not the true expression of yourself. Be merciless with that stuff right now so that you can just be simple, be in your essence. That kind of purity, that kind of clarity, that kind of traveling lightly. What can we see for the masculines? Oh, we got 3. Why not? We're getting this and that are true. Trust the great mystery. So just because you've never been here before, divine masculines, just because you think that you might have it all figured out, and all of a sudden something even from yesterday was a big reality check I'm getting. Yesterday's energy was true and today's energy is true, and it's all okay. Trust that great mystery that we can be so different day to day. Love yourself, divine masculines. And for all those watching that have been following my readings, when we have a very abrupt change up of the energy from day to day, just understand we are vast. We are the culmination of everything. We are a fractal. We are a part of the whole. We have those potentials in all of us. Depending on so many factors, we can go from one energy to the next in any given day. And that's how energies become. We can't harmonize and hold a consistent frequency from the beginning. We need the training wheels, or we need to learn to walk. So even if we glimpse it one day, like yesterday, and then go back to this feeling ill-equipped, it's okay. Once we do know something, once we have been introduced to a certain frequency, it's just as true as it was when we were experiencing it. And the energies that are its opposite are also true. It's when it tempers and balances out that it comes into alignment and harmonization so that it can be held at that new frequency. And then be fearless and bold. Be fearless and bold with those things that you know that are good and right and true. This is not rebellious fearlessness and bold energy. That is only bravado. True fearlessness and being bold is when you actually can get behind something. So the things that you believe in, those are the things. Do not hold back your heart in those directions. And forgive yourself completely for being experimental and even reckless or clumsy in the past, so that you can also be fearless and bold with forgiving yourself for those ways that haven't been as authentic. Oh, lots of beautiful stuff. There is more of a tender energy today than yesterday's reading, but I believe it's just as productive, and it's very, very grounded feeling. Not that yesterday's energy wasn't, but it feels like the equal and opposite consideration. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.